Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And thank you all for attending today's Chapter 2 meeting of the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group. We are a group of vendors in the restaurant industry who are experts in our field, and we open our experience up to the general public in the industry for any help that may be needed. We have a new face on the board this morning, Rick Moore, correct? Last name?
That's right.
And Rick, I'm just going to ask you to give us a quick summary of what you do, and I will come back to you at the end of all the intros so that you can add something that you might have missed. So just tell us, about who you are, what you do, and you don't have to mention Brian.
Okay. Well, my name is Rick Moore. I'm in Roswell, Georgia. I've got an extensive background in the restaurant business. I've been a restaurant manager, executive, owner, and restaurant broker in my history. I've been a vendor to a lot of industries, but naturally I rely upon my background personally to market our services. The name of our company is BidPoint. BidPoint Business Solutions is what it is. We primarily do everything in terms of intros and everything to clients all across the country, focused in the Southeast. We started out in energy and moved through different line items on a restaurant's P&L or even hotel hospitality. Hotels are great clients too. We have settled into business funding recently because of all the circumstances out there in the world. And we had connections in that space and found somebody that could be an effective partner with us. And so that's what we do, and that's where I come from.
Okay, so you do the financing that Brian doesn't do.
Yeah, we're more of a simplified, up to 25,000 in a day, up to 2 million. It's all based on revenue. There's no collateral involved. So we'd be more of a referral partner to Brian.
That's good. Okay, Mr. Kaufman, why don't you tell us about yourself, so you can leave early.
Good morning, everybody. Chris Kaufman here, CHRIS Kaufman and Company. CHRIS is an acronym for clubs, hotels, restaurants, institutions, and sales. Those are the 5 disciplines. Since 1981, we have made placements. And we work on behalf of the owners of these places to find the talent that they need to enhance their whole portfolio. And we work throughout the United States, most of it's Southeast United States. And actually of the 5 letters, clubs, hotels, restaurants, institutions, and sales, most of the work, over 70% of the work is in the restaurant industry. We're small independent restaurants, a one-off, as well as New York Stock Exchange multi-billion-dollar companies. But we always work on behalf of the ownership to bring them the talent that they need. And we appreciate the opportunity to share our wisdom with what we've learned over the years in terms of the best practices companies are using today in the absolutely, probably the roughest employment situation ever in America is going on right now. Chris Kaufman, CHRIS Kaufman and Company. Come back to see us.
Thank you. There's a new television show. I caught a glimpse of it yesterday when I was channel surfing. I don't know the name of it, but an entrepreneur gets 1 minute to give his elevator speech by actually being in an elevator. And there's a panel of 3 judges. And if they vote that your pitch was not good enough, the elevator goes down. And if you're good, the door's open. So keep that in mind when you do your intro. I got my finger on the button.
All right.
Hey, Bruce, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bruce Silver, and the name of my company is Employers RX. and we help employers manage their employees. And I want to thank Chris. Chris referred me to a gentleman that owns a couple of huddle houses, and like everybody in business today, especially in the restaurant industry, it's challenging finding the right talent, especially if you don't offer any benefits. And we work with HR companies that make it really easy for employers to have a smorgasbord of benefits so that they can level the playing field and compete with the big boys out there by offering full line of benefits, health insurance, dental insurance, legal insurance, pet insurance, Disney dollars, all sorts of perks that will help them to attract and retain the employees and the talent that they need. In this particular situation, working with this gentleman, I realized that he only had 45 employees after finding out about his operation. And he didn't want to put in a health plan for all of the employees. He just wanted to cover 5 or 6 key people. And there's something called a QHRA, which allows employers to help subsidize the premiums that an employee has to pay. And tax bases, and it can be for individual health plans for the 4 or 5 or 6 employees that he wants to keep on board, basically, or attract, without having to make benefits available to the other 40 employees. So the one rule here is it has to be for employers with less than 50 employees. If you have more than 50 employees, it's not available. But in this particular situation, it is certainly going to be a major solution for this business. Anyway, Bruce Silver, Employers RX. Hope everybody has a great day.
Thank you. A question that I know the answer to, I think. Another PEO firm, would that not be a good contact for you, or it is?
If they're a good firm, it would be a good contact.
Okay, because I have somebody coming to the 11 o'clock. I'll let you know.
Let me know.
Rick Israel, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Rick Israel with Affiliated Health Insurance.
Can't hear you.
What's that?
Get
Cannot
closer to
hear
your
you.
mic.
Oh, can you hear me?
Hey there.
Okay, sorry. Rick Israel with Affiliated Health Insurance. We are an independent agency that assists individuals once they come out of group plans and retire and go into Medicare, prescription drug plans, and supplements. This is the time of year where we are preparing for annual enrollment. So if you are a client of mine, you will be receiving some information soon about scheduling appointments. We also take care of individual plans. So if an individual is going into Medicare and the spouse needs help with the ACA, we can also help them with the Affordable Care Act to get an individual health plan. Rick Israel with Affiliated Health Insurance.
Okay, thank you. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Brian. I'm with a Rogue Financial Group, and what Rogue does through our commercial financing company for equipment. And when I say equipment, we do mostly in the hospitality industry, from front of the house to the back of the house, hospitality, just any type of equipment. I just landed a 12 location deal for food cargos, and they're all over the country, and they've been blowing up my email last week, so I've been very fortunate with that. So we do for food cargo trailers. We do all different types of other financing, non-hospitality, which is like construction equipment, logistics, medical equipment, things like that. And again, with Rogue, we've been around for several years, providing commercial equipment financing, and that's it. And like I said, you know, me and Rick don't conflict. We've talked, so it's fine. All right, that's it for today.
Okay, something you said just reminded me to tell you guys that our office phones are down, and they probably will be down until Tuesday next week. So if you need to reach us at all, call on our cell phone. Mine is 561-870-9663. I'll put that in the spreadsheet.
Or they can email us.
Email still works, fortunately.
We have lightning that struck our lines, and we have Bell South, and they can't get out here until Tuesday. So the office phones are down.
Yeah, got to tell you, talking about lightning. I was going to a doctor's appointment this week, and there was a FedEx driver who got out of his truck, and he was pushing this metal hand truck loaded with boxes, and a lightning strike hit the closest to us that I've ever seen lightning hit in my life. And this poor guy was like right in the path of it. And I never saw a guy make the moves that he did when that bolt hit the ground. I thought he was done. I thought he was hit, but he wasn't.
If he was a foot back further, he would have been dead.
Oh my God. And he's pushing a metal hand truck.
Horrible.
Anyhow, thankfully he was okay. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, Terry. Today's restaurant news. Leads report specialist here, handling the monthly news of where things are opening in Georgia and in Florida. 2 separate reports on Excel spreadsheets. We give very detailed information on who the owner is, their phone number, the address, about the square footage. Does it have a bar? Does it have an outdoors? Are they franchising? Do they have other locations? And most importantly, the email address. And if anybody would like a sample, just email me. Can't call. Email me, and I'm happy to send you a sample. And everybody knows that except our new gentleman here. So this group and the 11 o'clock group, we have a lot of people that get these leads, and then, you know, they tell other people and they get them as well. So have a good weekend.
Thank you. Brandon, good morning.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. Brandon Rhodes, founder of Yum Fox. Yum Fox is a one-stop marketplace that solves your problem from searching multiple apps for remembering what app delivers from where. The exciting thing about that is just like Expedia or Google Flights, some of the things you've been using. So if you can imagine just downloading one app for all your delivery needs, having the ability to compare the pricing and delivery times of all in one location. So what this does is it truly gives back the power and the freedom to the users and the restaurants to be able to communicate to one another and choose the best price for their appetite and their wallet. Just closing on a round of funding, so I have all the funds right now to carry me through my launch, soft launch in October. So be looking out for that. And any referrals right now that could help me get my name out to the communities that we're going to be targeting. I'm working with Rob Herger, if you remember him, and Mark McComb right now. So we're going to be working together to target communities in strictly in the West Palm and Fort Lauderdale areas when we launch to do our soft beta launch. And then from there, we're going to move north and south, east and west. So exciting things are coming. It's been a long process right now, but tentatively we launch October.
Wonderful. Congratulations. That's a
you,
big deal.
If you want Mark to attend this meeting, you can, because the company is the member. So if you have if he wants to come as well, that's fine.
All right, perfect. I'll let them know.
Brandon, were you able to get in touch with the folks at Shift Pixie?
Well, I sent a message to him, but I haven't heard back.
All right, let me know if you need any help.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I will. Thank you.
Okay, Steve, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? How's everyone? Well, I know actually. Anyway, I'm a business broker, at least that's what I tell everybody. And I help people buy and sell businesses. Always like to talk about one that's available for sale today. I have a restaurant. It's a oyster bar and steakhouse. And its sales are $1 million. And on that, it earns about 250,000. And you can buy that restaurant for 525,000. So that's a not a bad return on your investment. And if it would qualify for an SBA loan, which I suspect it wouldn't, you could put as little as $50,000 down into it and end up making some really nice money. Now, the reason I suspect not is, as I'm sure people here know, restaurants are not notorious for reporting their actual income, or even anything, or even anything close to it. And that becomes a problem. I know it's such a surprise to the group.
Cash only deals, $1 off.
Yeah, I got a client that's actually worse than that, and it's the first time I've actually done it. It's an auto repair business, and his books are so bad. I said, owner to prove. And the way we came up with the selling price, the way we came up with how much it makes is he told me how much he wants for the business, and I worked it backwards. And I mean, because and I know it really makes good money because I see evidence of it. It's just I can't prove it. So anyway, on that note.
Yeah, you must see all the winners.
Well, I do, except this is a really nice, the auto repair business in this case. It's a really nice business. It has 5 lifts, 3 or 4 people working them. And he's busy. Every time I go there, there's, 4 or 5 cars on the lift. So it's, he's clearly making money.
I was speaking to somebody yesterday who has 200 employees, and I was talking to them about the ERTC, the Employee Retention Tax Credit.
Yeah.
And I said, boy, you'd make a ton of money. And he looked at me, and I knew what he was saying. He probably had 6 employees that would qualify.
Yeah, exactly right.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Ed, good morning.
Good morning.
What's the news on any shows?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, my name is Ed Gerton with Seacoast Sales, located in Orange Park, Florida. And yes, the Florida Restaurant Show is coming out with all sorts of information right now. They're going to nickel and dime us to death with different fees. That's what I see right now on that, because everything is a la carte. So if you want a 5 amp electrical service, you got to pay for it. If you want a 10 amp electrical service, you got to pay for it separately. If you want a chair, you got to pay it separately. If you want a desk, you got to pay for it separately.
Well, that's always been that way.
No, because if you got a 5-star or 3-star, you can get all that included.
Oh,
And
right.
They didn't.
Right.
Okay.
Because we
they don't
always
offer
pay
that right
separate
now.
for everything.
Okay. So last time we were 3-star, so we got all that, and it actually worked out pretty good. But this year, my God, and talking to him about power, what we have single phase 220 power, and that's not on the list, so I have to call them, and that's all special order. 3-phase power is okay, but single phase power is a special order now. So I don't understand that, but what do I know?
Well, it's all about money. It's all about money.
And it's union labor down there now.
Are you staying at that hotel?
I am, yeah. For myself and my wife would be there.
It's union labor, you said?
That's what it says on the information this time.
That's going to be interesting.
No,
I know.
Florida's a right to work state. It's a non-union state. They
It-
can't do
it says-
that.
It says right on the paperwork that the laborers union.
You know,
Hey,
they
doesn't
can be
mean yes.
union, but they
Mhm.
But you
can't
can
stop you from
refuse
doing
it.
anything.
Yeah, no.
It's not going to be like
Yeah.
Chicago. but
No,
it's-
not at all.
Well, Ed, that was the way Atlanta was. I can remember when they had the Southeastern Food Service show at the World Congress Center. It was, you couldn't even go out to the dock. If you had food, you had to have somebody union pull it out of your refrigeration. It was just, it's like,
That's the way it was in Chicago and New York when I did shows up there. Now, the paperwork does say in Orlando that you can be your supervisor. You don't have to
Yeah.
have a union supervisor there. And you
Right.
can carry your own stuff in and bring your own stuff in, but there's a limitations as to what you can do and what you can't do in that place.
Right. They'll let you bring in a small, one of those
See, Chris,
dollies. You can bring in a dolly, but that's it. You can't bring any other big piece of equipment in. It would have to come in with their people.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because we're going to reel in a piece of equipment and see what they have to say.
By the time you get it in, it doesn't matter. What are they gonna do? Fine you for next year?
just tell them to come to the booth for ice cream later. They'll be fine.
And by the way, the other thing, because we're serving ice cream, we have to have a special rug put in our place to protect their rug from getting dirty.
Oh, come on.
It's right in
Wow.
there, and I already talked to them about it. They're going to enforce it.
So
if
is
you're
this gonna be
serving-
like more than the convention center to do a show here at this hotel?
I think so.
Hopefully people show up.
Well, I better start calling and getting everything finalized then. I've got
Yeah.
most of it done, but
And
okay,
everything's
thank
supposed,
you. Thank you for that, Ed.
yeah, everything's supposed to be in their hands, I think, by the middle of October.
Yes.
Otherwise, the rates go up
Yeah, a lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
we're-
great.
Okay, anyway, Seco Sales, we are equipment supply company doing specializing in frozen dessert equipment. So we have batch freezers, soft serve machines, blast freezers, display cases, basically all Italian and Spanish and some Portuguese in there. And supply chain issues are actually getting worse, not better right now. A container leaving Italy right now, even 6 months ago, would take 4 to 5 weeks. They're now taking 5 to 6 weeks to come here. So that's it's delaying even more. Plus now going into Savannah or Newport News, I've been told that you can expect at least a week delay for customs and at least a week delay to get a truck to pull your container. So it's getting worse rather than better right now. So I don't know what's going to happen.
When the ship arrives in those ports, I mean, are they sitting out in the harbor waiting to get in to unload?
I don't know what Norfolk is. I know that talking to some people in Savannah, that there are ships lined up outside the port of Savannah waiting in queue to get into the port.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
So it's still bad right now. I don't know about Jacksonville or the port of Miami, if what's waiting to come in there. And I don't know about Norfolk. And reading in the paper, I guess California, they've gone from like 117 ships waiting. They're down to around 30 ships waiting to get into the port. So their backlog is getting better out there. But now they got other issues because the truckers are refusing to move equipment because you can't be an independent contractor anymore in California. You have to
Right.
belong to a company.
They're all just sitting there. My son lives there and he went out there to look at it because he works close by in LA. And he said it's a disaster.
Yeah. So I don't know how all that's going to play out in California.
I think it's one truck in, one
Independent
truck
truck
out
drivers are
too.
not- Pardon?
Right.
I think it's one truck in, one truck out at the port out there as well.
Yep.
Yes.
It's not.
Well, I mentioned, I think last week, that we were on the road up in Tennessee, and I've never seen so many trucks on the road right now. So they're trying to move stuff. The question is getting it loaded and unloaded.
Yeah, every other vehicle was a semi, an 18-wheeler, every other one, all the way up and back.
Well,
Hopefully they were
I
loaded
think
down.
what you're seeing yeah, I think what you're seeing right now in construction is everything that happened that was permitted 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. New permits are dropping. I think in a year, you're going to see construction crater. So I know when I was up in Nashville, 7 months ago, the tower cranes, there was a 2-year wait to get a tower crane for construction. That was the
Oh my
wait
God.
right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is now, but I'll guarantee it's not going to be 2 years, Charlie.
No. No, it's pretty bad. And then Russia blowing up the bridge, the port, that didn't help. So all that grain and wheat is rice are sitting there. They're going to sprout and rot. And I mean, half of the world's hungry and it's horrible. I mean, I watch that all the time and it breaks my heart that these people can't get food.
Right.
There's no words.
Okay. I didn't miss anybody. I'm gonna do my little pitch and then we'll come back to you, Rick.
Thank you.
I'm Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant News. We are currently a digital newspaper for the food service industry in the United States and in the rest of the world. We just got a reader from some exotic place out, but Dubai. We just got one. Actually, he was the food and beverage manager, probably European, who was working in Dubai. Anyhow, we are in our 27th year of publishing, and we are looking forward to getting back into actually the shows in November. We have 2 shows in November that we're participating in. One is the Florida Restaurant Lodging Show, which Ed was talking about. And then we have another show the week after at the convention center called the Tomorrow's Pizza Summit. And that is a new show that is being organized by somebody who actually used to work for the company that's putting on the Florida show. So we'll see how that all goes. We offer advertising in our newspaper, email marketing, video email blast, and the new openings report that Terry has already mentioned. So if we can help you with any of that, please let us know. But don't call the office yet. Call our cell, 561-870-9663. Rick,
You know, I have a question about that second show, and maybe somebody knows. That second show in November, that pizza show, that is a first-time pizza show. How did they get enough booths to go into the convention center when the FRLA didn't get enough to go into the convention center again? Any ideas?
they can make a reservation and they have an option to opt out by a certain date. I'm pretty
Right.
sure it's in their
Is that
contract.
Glenn? Is he involved in that?
Yeah, he's the president.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'll find out.
Okay, Rick, if you want to add something that you didn't say, or
Yeah,
give us a little bit
I'm
more.
sure. And it's great to hear what everybody does. And I've got, as I mentioned, I've got an extensive background in hospitality. And so I think I like everything I'm hearing and have a reasonable working understanding of what everybody does. So once again, my company is BidPoint Business Solutions. We started this business about a dozen years ago when I exited the restaurant business. And our focus is to work on line items of the P&L for businesses. And our focus right now is on small business funding. And when I say small business, anywhere from 5,000, theoretically up to 2 million. I'd say our sweet spot is 25,000 to 25 to 250,000 would be our sweet spot. It's revenue-based funding. Businesses can qualify very simply. It's basically what's available to you is about double your monthly revenue. And as long as your FICO is above 450, we can look at it. And that's as simple as it gets. And it fits, I personally have taken this kind of funding in the restaurant business many times. I've probably taken millions of dollars over the year. Typically it was in the summer to cover payroll. And so I've been looking to find a way into this industry, and we found a way that's completely online. They fill out an application, they go to different buckets, and it's pretty clean. So people get an answer pretty quickly, which a lot of times they need to, and the funding can happen pretty quickly if they qualify. So it's Rick Moore with Bidput Business Solutions.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
As I said earlier, our speaker for today was sidetracked with COVID, so he won't be here today. He'll be here next week. That's Matt. So does anybody have unless somebody wants to say anything more in depth about their company right now?
Hey, Terry, I want to
Yeah.
share this with, when I was at Bare Bones yesterday, I picked this up. I'm going to show you a picture of this. This building dates back to 1901. So if you can, let's see here.
Oh, wow.
If you can see it, which way?
Where did you, is that, you know what? When I looked on their site, that building is there.
Yeah. So that building dates back a long time. So if you
Holy
look, that
cow.
used to be an old bank, and this is the building.
You
so
know what,
this-
Brian, with that in mind, that just gave me an idea to do a nice little feature article on the history of that building, because that was, I mean, that's like,
You know what I'll do? I need to drop that other information in the mail for you for the petroleum show that I was at. That's the information on the convenience stores. Okay. And I'll make sure I'll try to do that today, and I'll put this in there.
great.
Okay.
By the way, our
Thank you for
August
that.
issue is on our website already. It's www.trnusa.com. And there's a story in our August issue about the original building that was used by Colonel Sanders to I guess, to create his recipe and used as a restaurant. That building is up for sale right now. I believe it's in Kentucky. Is that
Yes,
right?
it's in Corbin, Kentucky. I've been there.
Yes, it's Marie. You've been everywhere. It's Marie Sanders. But what we did was I managed to get from the PR firm. I managed to get a very, very old original photo and the little leather book of what they used in the very beginning. So it's pretty interesting.
It's not really far off the road, off of 75. If you go into Kentucky and you go into Corbin, it's about 2 miles off the road. So you can tell it's very weathered, the building. It's
greasy.
Yeah.
I think it's nice, and I just thought it was a great story. It was brought to my attention, contacted the PR firm, and I told her I need a really cool photo from the beginning. And when they sent me that one, they sent me a whole library of them, but that was the one I wanted. So that is in the paper right now.
And then if you're up there, you can actually get a picture with him. There's a big old statue when you walk in. Get a picture of him. And then off to the side, when he started out, there's a little museum where they have a table and everything all set up, and it's kind of, little plates and everything he used, and it's kind of interesting. But
oh, how fun!
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say it's not like what it used to be. The chicken is kind of, I mean, maybe I don't know, but yeah, it's there.
I like history, so I think that would be something. When they blew up the Georgia Guidestones, I was absolutely devastated because I wanted to go see those guidestones. They were recently found about humanity being cut in half by some disease. And then all of a sudden they're blown up. I thought
Yeah.
that was a little bizarre.
Well, you know, we were just talking about, you know, Corbin, if you go east, you hit Hazard and you hit Harlem and you go up to Pikeville where Hatfields and McCoys. But real quick, back in the early 50s, back in the early 50s, my grandfather, after the war, was an insurance agency. And he would go into these small towns and provide insurance to a lot of the coal miners and these guys. So I'm not sure what town it was, either Harlem, Hazard, or there was one up there. So my dad and his dad were sitting there in a cafe, I think it was early 50s, in a small town, and there was a scuffle out in the street. This is no lie. My dad tells it all the time. He goes out in the street, the sheriff, because they were having lunch with the sheriff, shoots the guy. The guy dies because he was stealing something. Somebody was stealing something from somebody. Goes out in the middle of the street, shoots the guy. And that's the eastern part of Kentucky.
Did he go back in and finish his lunch right after?
Yes.
I knew it. And somebody dragged the body off the road.
And then if you get to Pikeville, my daughter was recruited by that school up there, Pikeville, for college, which I'm glad she didn't go. It's kind of a little different. There is a huge museum that's about the Hatfields and McCoys.
Well, my ex-daughter-in-law, the mother of our grandchildren, is a descendant of the Hatfields.
Okay.
So they
She argues with herself.
Yeah. And she's violent, so
Yeah.
no, I'm kidding.
Does
That's
anybody,
Denise.
sorry,
Go ahead.
does anybody have any thoughts on inflation right now affecting your business in one way or the other?
Oh, you mean the 33% on the food? Nah.
Anybody being impacted by what
Yeah.
they can see that right now?
I mean, it's not that terrible. It's not, didn't affect it too bad, but yeah.
The pricing that I'm getting for equipment, we had a general price increase in February, and we had another price increase in May, totaling about 10% this year so far.
That's a
So that,
lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one this fall. In fact, I know there's going to be another one this fall. I've already been told that.
We've
So-
got insurance companies dropping condos and houses like crazy, and our insurance went up 30%. So, you know, just for homeowners, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the insurance is caused by some other problem.
That's just not necessarily inflation.
The insurance problem deals with the fact that a lot of there's been I don't want to say it's a scam, but people have been taking advantage of.
oh, you mean that condo collapse in Miami Beach?
No, that's actually, I don't think the biggest problem, although I'm sure that is for the condo associations. A lot of there's been several roofers going around with and/or adjusters and attorneys that have been suing insurance companies because of hurricane damage on roofs, and they've been getting paid. People have been getting new roofs and paid for it. So that's a big problem. It's not that these roofs aren't bad, but you know, frankly speaking, if you had a problem because of a hurricane, you would know it right away. These roofs, or shortly thereafter, these roofs are just old, and someone figured out a way to make money on it.
So how can they get away with that? Oh, never mind. I know.
They sue.
Don't even go into that, Sarah.
No, I do know because I figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I just figured it out.
No. I mean, you know,
We have a new roof.
my daughter is getting the benefit of. She bought a house a year ago, and the prior owner, someone got a hold of the prior owner, And definitely that house needs a new roof, needs a lot of new things. But, and he made, some roofer approached them and they filed a claim, and, they have a lawyer, and it was just settled. And she got, well, because of the contract, she got a new roof anyway. But the roofing company paid for about 2/3 of a new roof. I mean,
Nice.
the insurance company. Well, it's nice, good for her, but the truth is, and the guy that sold them the house, but that comes out of your pocket. Insurance is based on, as I'm sure everybody knows, a known loss factor. And when that changes,
Claims. I
Yep.
know. But the
Goes
thing
out-
is, you pay your whole life, and then when you need them,
yeah, well, you pay your whole life.
it's
No,
a
no, I
whole
mean,
ordeal.
that's a different discussion as to insurance companies. What I'm
Right.
saying is, no one, you pay your whole life, but you don't pay enough. If you think about it, generally speaking, you didn't used to pay enough to replace a roof,
Right.
no way.
No, never.
Right. So it's based on, the chances of an event happening are pretty low.
Right. Well, they said if we get hit with a major hurricane again in South Florida, most insurance companies here would belly up. So it wouldn't matter how much you paid.
No, unfortunately, that's probably true. The only good news is the state sort of guarantees it, so they step in.
Yes.
And so, we will get something, but the state steps in. That means we pay for it anyway. So they're going to have to make it up somehow.
Yeah, you're right.
There's absolutely
We're
nothing for
getting out
nothing.
of it, no matter what.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're screwed.
Bruce, any word on your coffee kiosk company? Would they be?
Yeah, they have a new unit. It's about half the size. And it looks very interesting. I'm going to learn more about it. I was just there the other day. They're adding new employees. They probably put on 5 new employees this month.
They should consider going into one of the shows we were talking about earlier. That would be a
Well,
perfect.
right now, they're at a show, and after this, they go to China. So,
Oh my gosh, wow.
yeah, well, they've got offices in Toronto and employees in China and South Korea, and they're in about 50 different countries.
Mhm.
But they're still having trouble launching their coffee machines here.
Yeah, because of the price.
I don't think it's the price anymore. And I have one guy that I'm going to try and see if he wants to attend. And he has a coffee roaster. So not only they're using the machines to try and sell you the coffee. So the numbers make a lot of sense. I mean, the average, if you're going to have pouring coffee and making coffee, it's got to run you about 30,000 and change a year, and you make that back in about 3 months on the machine.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
big deal. It's a big deal.
All right. Anybody else have any other news they want to inject right now before we wrap it up? Okay. Well, Rick, thanks for coming today.
I appreciate you guys having me today.
We're going to have a wonderful weekend. You can thank the Sahara dust storm. It's visiting us this weekend, so no hurricanes. Everything will be great.
Thank you
Hey,
for
Ed,
that
I'll call
update.
you.
Okay.
I got something for you. I'll go
Okay.
over with you.
Hey,
All
Terry,
right,
what
everybody,
booth are
have
you
a
in?
great weekend. Stay
Wait
safe.
a minute, hold on, Howard.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, what, Ed?
Terry, what's your booth at the Florida Restaurant Show?
Oh, I don't
Your
know.
booth number.
I'll look and see and I'll let you know. I'll text it to you or
Okay.
email it to you.
Thank you.
You're
Goodbye,
welcome.
everyone. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Rick, thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
gonna-
guys. Appreciate
I'm
it.
gonna stop